Many of you know me as a relationship coach. My name's Dave Elliott with Legendary Love for Life. But today I'm going to talk a little bit about what that entails, some of the skills involved in that. I do help singles and couples who may be struggling in relationship. My particular specialty is helping women. We talked about that last time. If anyone has any questions, we'll talk about that. So let me know, Glenn. So what exactly does that entail? It's a bunch of different skills. So sometimes I'm a translator. A lot of times that means I'm translating masculine to feminine, and when she says this, she means that, and when he says this, he's what he's looking for. And that's a valuable skill, probably more valuable than people would know. And sometimes it's really important to know what people aren't saying too. Sometimes I'm more of a teacher. I'm going to do a little bit of that today, talk about some of the skills and things that a lot of you probably are not aware of. And it might make takes the invisible and makes it visible, and understand why sometimes relationships are probably one of the most challenging things in life for some people. Sometimes I'm a negotiator. I've had a situation where I saw a grown man break down and cry one day. And he said, he was introducing himself. He says, my name is such and such. And he said, my partner is a psychopath. And he started crying. And I just went up to him afterwards and I said, do you think if you thought of your partner as something other than a psychopath, we might figure out a way to solve this problem? And basically I had 2 conversations with him and we solved it. So a lot of times it's negotiation, it's strategy, it's kind of looking at things differently. When you change the words and the stories that you tell yourself, your inner representation, like you have a lot more flexibility and leeway to find the solution rather than focus on the problem, focus on the problem, focus on the problem. Sometimes, like I said, I'm a little bit of a mind reader. It's important to understand what people aren't saying or what they, I like to go back to understand their story. If I understand where you've been, I can tell you where you're likely to end up, and very, very often and over again too. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about today. And so that's about being a pattern recognition specialist. Again, seeing that, knowing what, if I know your history, I can kind of predict where you're likely to go. But that's only one part of the story. Let's talk about what I do, how I do it. My thing is I just see the very best in people, even when they themselves don't see it. And then I point it out and I say, this is really you, and this is that, and this is that. And I noticed this when you did that, and you have that too. And that's a really invaluable thing for someone, because a lot of times, especially when you're in a situation where someone is, let's just say, not seeing the most charitable version of you, for someone to see you at your best, even when you're not always practicing it, is really a huge breakthrough. What's happening with it? Okay. And so, while I'm able to do that, is that thing going off every time I turn around? I let my clients lean on me, sort of while they're getting stronger, or while I'm pointing out these things, or while we're building these skills and these basic new recognitions. And really, the truth of the matter is, I just do personal development. I help people become an even better version of themselves. I start with what's great about them, and we build. And when you have a great relationship with yourself first, then you can actually start to create a great relationship with someone else. So, and look, I don't have all the answers, but I've got some great questions, and people always have within them what we need to work on. And I help them find the clues hiding in plain sight. And again, that comes from asking some precision questions and getting really clear on where they've been, what some of their experiences have been, and how they might be getting stuck in those situations. And when they finally see the problem, you can begin to solve it. A lot of times it starts with some unresolved trauma. Like, we all have it, and those unresolved issues don't just go away. They have a way of coming back, and that's actually the perfection of it. They're not coming. You don't, you've heard of people who have the same old issues and attract the same old people, and they keep coming back, and they're like, I can't believe it, I did it again. This person seemed totally different, or I don't know why I'm always struggling, or I don't know why I'm at odds with my kids, or whatever. This is why. It's the unresolved stuff. And it just keeps showing up. It's a same old problem, brand new meat suit. Different person, same old story. It's like you're auditioning, you're auditioning for a role in a movie you didn't know you were auditioning for, essentially. And they'll pick the exact same people that'll trigger those exact same wounds. It'll look totally different, but then, when I can sort of walk people back and say, doesn't this seem familiar to you? And then I point out all the times it's happened before, and I go, oh shit. And then they see it. But that's not a pain, that's actually a really powerful process, because then when you see it, you can do something different. If you do the same thing, you get the same result. Do something different, new result. So understanding your attraction strategy is a game changer. Quick show of hands. Anybody heard of an attraction strategy before? 2 people. Y'all have one. Y'all know. You're married to someone, probably, you're in a relationship with someone who has. Let me tell you about that. Let me tell you why relationships can be such a challenge sometimes. Let's talk about how it works. This is an amazing book called Attached. Fantastic book. And it talks about the attraction strategies, basically 3 to 4 types of people. This is the secure, this is the ideal. Secure people know who they are, they know what they want, they're clear on it, they know how they're going to get it, they feel relatively good about themselves, they don't think they're perfect, but they're available and open and they want to create something good. That's about 35% of people. And if you do a quick check on the math, that's 65 to 70% of the people that fall in the other categories. And let's just call those the problematic categories. So anxious people feel like relationships are a trap. They feel like they're difficult. They feel like they're uncertain, and they'll tend to be really nervous. They're like, oh my gosh, I hope they like me, and this, that, kind of just that weak energy that doesn't feel really good to be in a relationship with. And then there's the avoidant people, and the avoidants are like, no, that wasn't for me. I'm just going to go to work. At least I know I can fix that. At least I know I can get a result there. At least I know that's going to be good for me. And so anxious and avoidant will sort of toggle back and forth. So anxious and avoidant sometimes. Like an avoidant person might not date for 6, 7, 8 years, and then one day, they'll wake up and say, I've been alone for a while. I should try this again. I haven't gotten into a problem with anyone in a relationship for a long time. I'm sure I'm better now. But that's because no one is leaving crumbs on the bench, or no one's leaving the toilet seat up, or no one's doing anything that's going to stress you out. So you think it's magically fixed, but yet it's not. So this is kind of a cool science of, again, 30 to 35% of people are in that. And by the way, when 2 secure people meet, they say, hey, you seem great. No, you seem great. We should do this. Let's go out there. Let's get off the dating app or whatever where they've met. And then they go. And then the dating app is filled with these folks. And these 2 folks always find one another. The anxious person finds the one, well, why doesn't he like me? Or why doesn't she call? This, that. So they drive each other crazy. And this is what I'm saying, unresolved wounds repeat. They just find each other again and again and again. It creates anxiety and struggle. So people falsely assume it's happening in the torture room, but it's actually coming to serve them, but they just don't see it. And just, again, understanding that insight, say, no, it's not because you suck. It's because your opportunity is for you to see this. But, exactly, Karen. It's the same old story, just a bunch of brand new characters. And when people know better, they do better. Quality of your life is quality of your relationships. I've said that before. And the first relationship you got to fix is the one with yourself. Again, feeling your own, finding your own worth and knowing your value. And it doesn't presume that you're perfect or anything like that. It just is about feeling good about yourself and the space you're in. When you're feeling good, your relationships improve too, and you grow yourself. You have to know yourself. But again, that comes in the shadows, and most people don't think about that. I ask those good questions that kind of get them to where, so the recognition can occur. And so, quick, how did I get into coaching? Well, my first client was me. I got divorced in 1999, which, quick check of the math, is 27 years. But then for 18 years I've been coaching. This is a colleague of mine. I've done a number of podcasts. And so after my divorce, it wasn't really a great time. And I wanted to say, I don't want that to happen again. So I really need to learn about this relationship thing. And so after, Esther Perel was one of the foremost experts on infidelity. She's an amazing author. And Barbara DeAngelis, written a bunch of books, Marianne Williamson, John DeMartini is an amazing quantum physicist and just brilliant guy. And I was actually very involved in the Tony Robbins organization. I was a senior leader for 18 years, something like that. I haven't been back in the community in a long time, but it's actually where I met my wife. Just happened to be standing next to one another. How about that? And then it all changed. We got married. She's from Australia. She is northern beaches of Sydney. Now we live up here on the Gold Coast. Love it here. And we work together. And she does renovation. I do this. But she sometimes speaks with me as well. And this is what I created as a. Let's talk about I created this as a testimonial, basically, a visual metaphor representation. It's not about the ring or that, but it's doing the work and getting the result. People who were single and struggling. This lady, Becky, I'm not going to go into all these. I've got a bunch of stuff. She was struggling in relationships over and over again. She's now been happily married for a long time. You can kind of read through that a little bit. Jenny, it was so bad her own mother came by and said, "What's going on with you? Are you a lesbian?" So if you would imagine that might create some kind of uncertainty. Brewing it, she wasn't. But now she's doing great too. She got married some years ago. Client Rebecca, she was so nervous and anxious, like she would actually spend the weekend with someone she had been dating for a while and she wouldn't even use the bathroom around them because she was so anxious about imperfection. And so again, like that changed. And again, these are really, like if you met these people, you would be like, holy crap, they're impressive. They're amazing people. Like some, I really do think I have the best job in the world. Like a lot of my clients are, vice presidents, doctors, lawyers, people who've worked in politics and stuff, like incredibly successful people. In fact, speaking of that, there's Nicole, she's a vice president in a big company, in charge of HR, so she's really good about it. And like, she gave me like this great testimonial, and I'm not gonna read it to you, you guys can scan it quickly. Basically, she learned to not have to try to tie herself in the knots to always make it work with somebody. And she actually started to really appreciate who she was and how she was showing up and what she was bringing to the relationship. And it was a huge game changer for her. Again, I just love this quote. So she was dating this person and totally different. Like she used to twist herself into a pretzel. And again, this is such an impressive woman. And she basically created her own fulfilling life. And now the people that she was chasing before is a totally different quality of people who are now attracted to her. So again, it's not chasing. It's not that energy of chasing is not attractive. It's just receiving. And again, that receiving is about the feminine. As Sue said, this is a woman who is incredible. Again, she's an HR. They referred, actually one other. That's the beautiful thing about what I do. I get referrals from people who know. And Sue had an incredible transformation. She lost 100 pounds, repaired her relationship with an ex who was not the greatest guy in the world, still isn't, but she gets along much better with him, changed things with her kids, got a new job. She's doing great. And now she's in a wonderful relationship. This lady, I thought was great. This lady said after only 2 sessions, she had a somatic release of her TMJ. Does anybody know what a TMJ is?
Yeah.
TMJ is transmandibular joint. It's basically people who sleep and clench, and they actually can tear this thing called a condyle, and it sometimes it cracks and it's when you hear someone's jaw cracking. She was a clencher because again there was this stress during her waking hours that was intruding on her sleeping hours and was totally creating some huge problems. But in 2 sessions she had such an understanding, she wasn't clenching anymore. So again, really, so that's my wife and I. We spoke all over the world. That's in London, Chicago, Dallas, New York. Been on TV a bunch of times, all over, been syndicated in a bunch of media outlets, written a few books, got 3 books. Capture Match Formula, this was, I don't know, it's like 15 years old, before dating apps blew up and became terrible. So this was about teaching someone how to, I used my advertising background to teach people about personal branding and how to create a really great dating profile. Is that getting the hook, essentially?
Yes, right, yes. It should be.
Yeah.
Campbell winding up.
That's okay. Oh, he is, baby. He says unplug it and plug it back in. That's the IT guy. He says unplug it and plug it back in. Thank you, Glenn. This is my second book, one of my favorites. It's called Same Shit, Different Date. And again, it's about why we attract those same types of people based on the same stuff, different day. But again, that's a great book. And there's a companion piece that comes with the book. These are all the exercises that you can do and kind of keep them all in one place. So those are the books I have. This is a free one that I share when I talk. Again, it's got a lot of the content in it. Irresistibility. How to make sure you get a second date anytime you want one. I created this Hug and Kiss hierarchy. This is basically 7, it's all about love strategy, 5 love languages. Serve Up is a thing about, I do a personality assessment, figure out what are your 6 needs that drive you, and I do a bunch of these podcasts, my own podcast, and I've got 5-star, I've got people who I talked to one time for 1 hour, and they ended up having such a breakthrough, they ended up now getting them married and engaged. So, and again, a lot of 5-star reviews on the podcast. Just gonna click through these really quickly. I'm gonna wrap up. Thank you very much for your attention today, and really blessed. I just appreciate that I have all these 5-star reviews. I hope the whole family during this one, and just what sometimes starts out with relationship, a lot of times gets into other areas. It changes their business, changes again relationships with their kids and whatnot. And these are just I don't know, really great reviews that I'm very proud of, because it doesn't matter what I say about me. What's more indicative of what I do is what other people say about me. So I just love what I do, and so here's what I would love if you could do. Like, if you have any referrals, especially single or struggling ladies, those are the people that I love working with the most. And I should probably talk about why that, because that came up last time. I also do a podcast where I talk about why haven't I found love yet, and those will be great. People, again, it's totally free, and in about an hour, they'll get a pretty big breakthrough that could make a huge difference. And then just here to make friends and have other entrepreneurs who are awesome. And this is a great group. I love being a part of it. So thanks. Any questions?